Welcome back to the Compound Podcast. This is episode 174. 174? Sure.
Sounds
Brought
about
to you
right.
by Parse Rum. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tom. Brought to you by Parse Rum. My favorite rum, your favorite rum. Go to Benny's. Go to your local liquor store. Ask about Parse. Get some Parse. Summer's almost over, but you can still have a pina colada. Okay? And guess what? You can stock up on your 12-year. Maybe you're going to have a party soon. Maybe you give out some 12-year. People love you. Plant a tree every bottle you drink. Let's get into it. I want to start off. Where do I want to start? Zach, you know where I want to start? You're in New York.
I'm
You're
here.
playing the Yankees.
Yep.
Tom, did you go to the game?
No, come on.
Bad friend?
I did not go to the game.
Bad friend?
Weird. We don't have a Mike Talkman on our team that he wants to see. That's it.
Doesn't care about you, huh?
No.
He doesn't care about Miguel Cabrera watching him play one last time. Apparently not.
I was thinking about going tomorrow, but now with that attitude, I don't know.
Zach, are you going to go to John Boy?
I'm not sure. I wasn't invited. Didn't know if that was on the table.
Ooh.
Invitation. Everyone. Let me make it clear. Everyone on this podcast, open invitation.
No, I mean
That's
come
not
on.
how it works,
That's
Tom.
not. No,
All right,
doesn't feel
Zach,
very
would you like to come
special.
to the John Boy office?
I got plans.
Got him.
Zach's from New York. You think he doesn't have things going on?
He's from Kingston.
Zach, you got a lot of people?
Yeah, he's from Hurley.
I do. And it's obviously, and like whenever you go home, it's a very much so blessing and a curse. Like it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot of
Just a lot going on.
yeah, a lot going on. Puts a lot on people's plates. Rock star Fallon girlfriend takes care of a lot. It's tough, but it is nice. Like this is really special for me. Like I grew up going to this place, and like seeing it from a different lens for the first time is pretty cool.
Zach, would you agree? I said this the other day, and I there's no way to say this without this sounding bad. I hate when people come visit. Like I'd much rather like our routine is just so like you get in a routine and then it's like I got to do this. Like it's very nice of people to come.
Yeah,
But it's like I got stuff to like I got to worry about being at the park. I'm at the park for 10 hours. Just don't want to move after that.
It's funny, like that's something that a lot of guys will never really say out loud to other people outside of the team, but it's true. Like it's a long year. Like there's some days where you just kind of want to kick it or whatever. But again, at the same time, like it is so nice to see familiar faces. Like you're grinding your balls off, like in August and September, and you're just like, wow, this is really nice seeing somebody that I haven't seen in forever. Or like people from home. And they don't care if you go 0 for 4 or 4 for 4. They don't care if you go scoreless. Like they just want to see you. Like, for me, like it's hard for me sometimes to really take a step back and be like, hey man, like you're playing at Yankee Stadium. You literally grew up here your whole life. Like, yeah, it's a little different.
And it's like you said, my mom and sister came 2 weeks ago, and they literally. I didn't end up throwing, and they were happy I didn't throw. They're like, we get anxiety when you pitch. Like, we just like to see you. We don't really care to watch.
Exactly what my mom says. If she hopes, and like, especially with my role, it's tough. Like pinch hitting in big spots or like going into defense in the 8th and 9th inning. And she's like, this is my fucking worst nightmare of all time. Like, why would I want to watch you do this?
Unless you do something good, then it's awesome. But
yeah, and then she'll watch on the highlights. Like,
yeah,
it's amazing how much our families and people that care about us, not just family but friends, and they're in it with you. Like the amount of people that are watching every single game and like in it, and they're planning their days and their nights around making sure that they're available to watch the game, or they're putting it on on the phone wherever they are. Like it's when you're in the middle of it, you don't realize just how much people care and how much people are watching, but it's crazy.
Ian,
yeah.
To that point, I mean, it's not really to that point, but I was just thinking, I was able to watch a little bit of the end of your guys' game today. Haven't been able to watch you guys in a while. That strike 3 call against you in the 8th, people have gone to jail for less. That was insane. That was down and in.
It hurt. And you know what? You know what, though? There's moments where you can get mad and yell at the umpire and throw your stuff. That was my 5th at bat of the day. I walked in my first one, and then I was 0 for 3 punchies, and a laser to center that was right at the center fielder hurt my feelings. Off Rogers, too. Off Submariner Rogers. I hit 103 and a half at like 16. Oh, you're out.
Too low.
That was my third punch of the day. and we had just scored, I think, 6 or 7 runs and taken a big lead. And I just had to put my stuff down and say,
that is
let's go.
The definition. You literally have to wear getting punched in the mouth, and you're just like, I can't do anything about it. And you know what?
Yeah.
You just move on because
Yep.
the game knows
the
game will reward you soon.
And the thing, and it was like, I'm a pitcher, so I love a big strike zone, but I was like, I mean, that's inside and down. Like, it wasn't like it just missed. I'm like, that's a ball both ways. It was a gross pitch, very good pitch, but it was like, you can't call that.
I thought it was a good take.
Was.
But I just want to talk about the Cubbies real quick.
Mm-hmm.
What a bad flip.
I'd love to talk. I'd love to talk about your Yankees and all the young guys you got coming up, but you can't be excited because you've written them off and you can't be excited about it. The Cubbies right now are in the midst of 14 games. Let me just try to, I just want to talk about this. 14 games in 13 days that was started with a doubleheader in Cincy. It was 1 billion degrees. It was like 93, 95 humid as you can imagine, with zero airflow. Let me tell you, zero airflow.
Mm-hmm.
And the dugout in Cincy is just beaten by the sun. Beaten. There's no shade. You can't get away from it. Yes?
Speaking of no airflow, Yankee Stadium in the dugout, they have air conditioning in there.
Yeah, coming out the ass.
Bro.
Coming out the ass of the benches.
Bro, and up
Nice.
top.
Yeah.
Dude, pro. My God, pro. Sorry.
Yeah, so Cubbies are in the midst of that. We go to Cincy. We split 2-2. They walked us off twice. Painful. Good games. Good series. 2-2. Come back home. Have a good one against the Giants yesterday. Steele. Justin Steele. My God. Steele goes 8 innings.
12.
Punches 12.
12.
Gives up 2 hits, 2 walks. Huge for us. Huge.
He's disgusting.
You always hear people say, and it's something I've noticed the last year or so, is like when a pitcher, Dakota, you can attest, like when a pitcher gets out of a jam or like has a really high energy like inning so like you strike somebody out and you just go nuts on the mound, like you scream, whatever. Usually you don't put that guy back out there because it's really hard for them to go from here back down and then to get to back up. So sure. I saw at the end of the 7th that they Steele went nuts, punched his 11th guy, and Scott and I were talking and we're like, man, you can't send this guy back out. Like, that's just a disaster waiting to happen, like whatever. And then he just went another inning, punched another dude. And it's like, you're kind of playing with fire, but like when you're riding the hot hand, like you're riding with Steele right now, that is fucking sick.
I feel like there's also certain guys that are better at like getting back up for it. You know what I mean? Like when he goes back out, like I feel like Steele is one of those guys that like always has that energy.
Yeah.
His is almost like an anger when he lets it out. Like he's not an angry person, but I feel like when he screams, it's like an angry scream.
Yeah, for sure.
And he just like kind of throws the baseball pissed off.
That's what, dude.
But it works for him.
Have you ever felt that before? Like,
oh yeah, it's the best feeling in the world. Like when you go out there and you're like looking in and you're like, this guy's fucked. Like I'm gonna strike this guy out. Like you have that feeling. Like I've tried to replicate it. It's so hard to do every time, but it's like when you have it, you're like, I'm locked in right now.
But what about you have a high energy or high intensity end of the inning, you scream, and then the manager gives you the rollout? Are you like, oh fuck?
I had one of those earlier this year. I gave up a 3-run homer the next inning. I threw 2 innings. I threw 2 innings. At the end of the second inning, I had first and second, and I punched a guy out, and I was like fired up. Went back out, gave up a 3-run homer with 2 outs in the inning, and I think it's really hard.
I think for the most part, starters don't get super emotional. Sometimes when they get out of a jam or big punch,
yeah,
you know. But their starters are better at, you know, there's heightened situations and like keep coming back out. You know, Steele threw like 110 last time out, maybe that was 2 times ago, and then he threw 105, I think, yesterday. Pretty impressive stuff. But
I think
with relievers,
it's
really, really hard. Especially because you come out of the pen, you have this like spike, right, Dakota? Like you come out of the pen, you're like fired up, you bang bang, and then you have to go back out and get up again. Like
that's what I was gonna say. Like with starters, also like if you're working out of a big jam, typically it was your own jam, so it's not like quite as heightened. You're like, got away with that one. But like as a reliever, you come in like a big spot. If you're a reliever and you come in a big spot, you're like, and you get out of a jam, you go nuts. And like you said, like relievers is a quick like burst of energy. Starters have to try and control it over 6-7 innings.
Yeah.
So you really can't get too high or too low as a starter. As a
Steely
reliever, you're throwing 15 pitches typically.
Steely did a great job yesterday. You know, Steely generally works off a high pitch count because there's some foul balls there. There's some swing and miss. And like, I think sometimes he's so deceptive with that heater that there's like some foul balls, some deep counts because he's just guys don't put him in play a ton. And then he had maybe it was the 6th inning or the 5th inning. He had a 4-pitch inning where he just jammed like 3 guys in a row for ground balls. And that kept him going in the game and got him to the 8th, which was a big deal. And awesome to see. So 111 last time out, I think he went 7. That might have only been through 6, but it might have been 7. And it was same thing. Like he had a really high pitch count through like 3. And then he just kept going and gave us that extra inning, you know, instead of coming out with 90 pitches or 95 pitches, gave us that extra inning, which is a big deal. Like when you're the ace, like when you're the guy, like you need it. You need 7, you need 8 innings. And he started to do that, which for him, that's like the next part of his evolution, right? Is like logging 200 innings in a year while being the guy. And, you know, his last couple starts, he started to go later in the games. He started to throw, you know, 100, 110 pitches. And it's been fucking awesome.
Dude. And then, you know, especially when Stroman goes down, like obviously Steele has been Steele, but like for him to take it to another level, like, hey, dog, we need you every 5th day. Like we don't have another really like dude right now. Like you got to go.
And it's also crazy, Zach. Like, I don't know about you, but like we knew Happ in 19, but like we came up with Steele, and now to see him as like a legit top 3 for Cy Young in the NL.
It's funny. So like I have a weird memory of Steele. Like Steele got hurt in 17.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really see him again much for the next
2
year
years.
or so. Yeah, like I don't know what happened.
It was
like
No, it was towards the end. He tore it towards the end of 17. So
yeah, so then you miss all the next year, right? And then 19, I got hurt. So like kind of just like didn't cross paths. But like obviously knew he was a dog, like knew he was really good, threw hard, and then face him again in 21 at like an alt site. You would play, you know, some teams around before the season started. And like I remember facing him. It's like, bro, his ball just does some weird shit. And I was like, I don't know if that's going to hurt him or it's going to help his career. Like, I remember facing him. I think I grounded out and I was like, boys, I don't know if that was a cutter or a sinker. Like, I don't know what it did.
Well, he used to throw a sinker.
Right.
He used to throw a sinker.
Yes.
And then when basically early last year, they kind of figured out, like Johnny Lester talked to him. He basically was like, you got to dominate that glove side of the plate. Like you got to just be able to bore that cutter in on dudes and then pitch off your fastball. And his fastball cuts. So it's not a cutter. It's a 4.
It's right.
It's 4 that cuts.
Do you know his metrics by chance? Like, you know his horizontal or no?
I'm not off the top of my head, but it's a 4 that cuts. But sometimes when he misses it, it misses with like kind of like straight spin up. Sometimes it just like straight spins up and in. Sometimes it cuts super hard. Sometimes it goes down. So like it ends up playing like 3 different pitches. And when he eliminated the sinker and started doing that and dominating that inside part of the zone, that's when he took off last year, had the great finish. And then now he is who he is. The slider plays off that really well and you know, the whole thing. And he's able to pitch between 89 and 93, 94, just dominate because that pitch does so much different stuff. And it's been super impressive to watch.
And he doesn't even have a changeup, right? It's just fastball, curveball,
fastball, slider,
yeah.
That's
but
all
I'd
yeah.
say it's a pretty big slider.
He did throw a changeup. Who one changeup yesterday to maybe Flores. He started to use a changeup a little bit against some righties that are like that dominate lefties. So he started to use changeup like once in a while. I think with lefties, maybe he'll mix in a sinker from time to time. He threw one yesterday to Yastrzemski. So like he is this version of Justin Steele that is really, really good. Like really, really good. I think there's more Justin Steele.
For sure.
Like there's more there. Like he's still figuring out exactly like who he is as an ace. And like there's more there. Like he's going to have the ability to mix in, I think, to lefties. He's going to find the ability to throw a little bit of a sinker. I think he's going to find like a changeup from time to time against some good righties. Like he's going to get to that level where like he's going to keep going and going. And like that's the most exciting part. Is that he's just at the beginning stages of figuring out like what it takes to dominate this league for 30 to 33 starts every single year.
And like him doing it down the stretch like this, like it's not just like a team where it's just like, all right, let's develop some guys. Like, oh, we got Justin Steele. Like this is like we talked about just 5 minutes ago. Like, hey man, we need you. And for him to kind of do all of this at once, like Dakota, like you said, like he's a friend, just like. Great guy, and just like watching him do it is just like, bro, man, like the sky is the limit.
It's crazy too. He doesn't walk anybody. Like I saw a stat the other day. It was him compared to what was it, Snell and who else? NL Cy Young. Oh, Fried. I think it might have been Snell and Fried.
Strider
and
Snell, Steele.
And it was like Steele's walks per 9 is like 1.3. I'm like that is so impressive as a starter. Like that's so hard to do, to throw 7 innings and walk maybe one guy the whole outing.
We'll get you right back to Compound, but first, can you believe we've gone 7 months without an NFL game? Well, good thing it's finally over. The NFL is back, and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving you an offer you can't miss for Week 1. This week, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 on any NFL game. DraftKings is hooking everyone up with game day greatness. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every single game day this September. Check the app to see what you get. Download now and use code COMPOUND. That's code COMPOUND to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in new bonus bets instantly, just for betting $5. That's code COMPOUND only on the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of the Boot Hill Casino and Resort KS. 21 age plus varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. See dkng.co/football for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. All right, let's get you guys back to Compound.
I'm going to keep going with the Cubbies. Okay. Steely does that yesterday. Obviously amazing and awesome. Then tonight. Oh, and let me just take a step back. Cubbies go double dip, double header, night game, day game, which was a 12-10er on the East Coast. Day game today. Oh, sorry. Day game yesterday for Memorial Day. Night game today. Day game tomorrow. Night game Thursday. Day game Friday. Day. We're in the middle of it. But we come out tonight. Wind's blown out of Wrigley. Blowing. Okay. Hendricks goes out there. He's got good stuff today. Gives up first pitch homer to Lamont Wade. Carl has been throwing. He's kind of like you're going to get a first pitch sinker because Carl's old school. He's old school with the best of them. He's been around for a little bit. He's gripping it 2 seams, not 4 seams, but he's gripping it and he's throwing you one right down the middle to start the game. Schwarber got him first pitch of the game. He's given up some rockets like first pitch of the game. So first pitch of the game, Montway takes him deep. Then he starts getting into it, gives up a run the next inning, but it was kind of like one of those like bloop and whatever. Then he gives up in the third inning, he gives up a opposite field homer to Yastrzemski that was 91.8 off the bat. I think that might be accurate. It was less than 92. It was 91 point something off the bat. Oppo in the basket because the wind was blowing at Wrigley. So we're down 3-0. Put up a 4 spot, and then the game gets crazy. Give up a couple. Carl gives up one. Wisniewski comes in, gives up a homer to center that was like 100, goes 400 feet right into the basket, and then we end up putting up a huge spot. Say hits a 2-run homer to put us up, and then before you know it, Morel hits a 3-run homer, bat flip. Woof,
Bro,
bat flip.
that shit was cold.
I was in the hole because he pinch hit for Tauchman. Sorry, Tom. He pinch hit for Tauchman, comes in, ends up hitting the homer, his second at bat or third at bat of the game, and then I was in the hole. Nico's on deck. He hits the homer. I'm like, oh my God. He hit a homer. It was 2-strike, 1-2, maybe homer. Oh my God, hits a homer. I look back at Nico. Morel's still standing next to the batter's box and throws the bat. And Nico and I look at each other and just go, oh my God, he's still standing there.
He's crossed home. Morel crossed home, and he like went to give Nico a hug, and Nico's just like, all right, okay.
Yeah, well, the clock is running. The clock is running.
Nico's like, I got to get in the box.
Yeah, you should have heard what I said to him. I go, okay, come on, nice job, get to the dugout.
Great swing. Here we go. Hum now.
Yep, here we go. Yeah, I mean, he was in the moment, but the difference, I would like a clock on the difference between Morel's home run sprint when he took his clothes off and how long it took him to get around the bases after that one was hit. Can we get a clock difference on that? But electric moment. And then we put up one more run in the 8th and end up, scoring 11 and winning 11-8. Good win for the Cubbies. Good win for the Cubbies. And we're in the middle of 14 in 13 days, but Cubbies are doing it.
There's something about grinding with the boys though, man. Like at any level, even like in the cold to start the year, it's just like
I don't know if you mean that.
I fucking hate it.
You
listen to me. Listen to me. I hate it more than anybody. But like, especially when you're grinding in August, you're grinding in September, you're like, hey boys, like, we gotta go. You show up to the yard every day, it's the same fucking faces. Everybody's grinding, everybody's playing a little sore, everybody's playing a little hurt. Then you go and put an 8 spot up in the 6 spot up in the 7th inning. Tastes a little bit sweeter.
I can tell you that, like, when you're in the middle of a stretch like this, and it starts with a doubleheader, everybody's grinding, and everybody's because, like, at this point in the season, where we're at, like, you're running the same lineup out there every single day. Nobody's getting off days. Like, you're in the middle of like. You're out there and you're playing and it's game 135 or 140 or whatever it is. And it's just like, go get them.
Yep.
And then the next day, go get them. Like you're not getting a blow. Night, day to day game. Like you're not getting a blow. Like everybody's in there because you're playing to the end of this thing, which is fun.
It's
fun. Like Zack said, it's the best. You're with the boys.
You're with the boys, man. Like
you're all going through the same thing together.
The late night flights, you're just kind of just kicking it, chopping it up with the boys, man. It's just
what makes. I think that like it's hard.
Even the bus rides, like in the minor leagues, it's just like there's something about them, man. There's just something
we can all relate to this. That's what makes the end when you have success as a team in the end, and you get to that. Like that's what make all of this stuff, all of going through this stuff together is what makes it so special.
For sure.
And we play so many godforsaken games in this sport. Like when you get to the end of it, like that's what makes it so special. Tom.
Yes.
Yankees have young guys. Congrats on that. You want to talk about Stanton's 400th homer? You happy for him?
I mean,
You
Zach
booing him?
can probably talk about it better than I can. He was
You booing him or are you happy for him? Well, you didn't go to the game because you don't care about Zach. Zach,
Yeah.
laser, huh? Laser off the bat.
Yeah, it's funny. I think the first at bat, obviously, or whatever, they had like a little toggle. It said like 399 career homers, and like you just knew it was coming. You knew, but the angle that I had, like in the dugout at Yankee Stadium, you feel like you're basically in the box, like you're pretty close. And I mean, the guy is just so strong, and it just kind of hit a second gear, but the guy caught it over the bullpen, which made it look even sicker. It was just like he just played catch with this guy out and left. But then you saw him
over the bullpen there. Over the bullpen there is an absolute
nuke, bro.
Nuke.
Yeah. But it's so crazy. Like, you don't think of, like, when I think of Stanton, I just think of Stanton as a Yankee, but like that dude was unbelievable with the Marlins.
I think
Dude,
more
that
as a
was his
Marlin. I
best-
think.
That
See,
was
like
his
I don't
best-
like I think of him as a Yankee.
He won an MVP there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the Marlins.
Yeah. Did he hit 60 homers?
No.
No,
60?
I think he did.
I don't think he did. Tom,
He definitely had a year of 60.
59.
thank you. He hit a homer last year when we were there over my head. That was like 118 off the bat, and I almost threw up. It hit so hard off the facing of the second deck that it came back onto the field and almost killed me. Like he is strong, dude. And I can't imagine pitching to him because I'd be like, that's going to hit me in the face. But
Did you see
he
the
is-
Acuna one? That was 121.
Okay, that's where I was going to go with this. You're
Sorry.
ahead of me. You're one
Sorry,
ahead of me.
you were talking about how
Okay.
hard it was hit, and it made me think of
You're
it.
one ahead of me. It was a good segue. But you know what's a better segue? Bruce Bolt baseball pants. If you're in the market for some baseball pants, fall ball starting up, they have 3 different lengths. They have pants down to the ankle. They have knickers just above the knee, those short pants that Zach likes to wear from time to time. And they also have baseball shorts above the knee if you fancy yourself a little Kike Hernandez or a little Hunter Pence action. All right. 3 different lengths. Go check them out. BruceBolt.us. While you're there, take a look at my batting gloves. Check them out. BruceBolt.us. So Braves are in LA. Got a couple of guys in LA who are in the MVP race. Ronald Acuna says, not so fast. I'd like to hit a bunch of pumps. And then he hits one dead central, 121 plus at 19
insane.
degrees, 450 feet to dead central. That ball.
Dude, so like would that have been like 127 on the ground, 128?
have to
I
be
don't
right.
know. I
Right?
can't do
I mean,
the
like-
math. I can't do the math on that. But to hit a ball to dead center over 120 miles an hour, that low that goes that far is
Juice balls.
no, absolutely not.
LA and Atlanta.
You think they're juicing him for those series? I love that theory.
I don't even know
Like,
if that's
wasn't that like a
that might
thing?
just be a fact. That just might be a fact.
Wasn't that like
I
a
don't even
thing?
know about a theory.
I have no idea. But all of the
Hey, we get an MLBPA. You got to keep it close to the vest. You don't.
No.
You don't know. Sure.
I don't.
Wink,
I'm
wink.
not in charge of the balls.
Sure.
all of-
Sure.
Can I just say
Yeah,
that
sorry.
all of the like Stanton 118, like the really hard hit, those crazy hard hit balls, they're pull side. To do that to center field is crazy.
Dude, I honestly I wonder what that would have looked like. Like today, Stanton hit his, I think at like 117, I think his was. And like again, pulled it, and it's just like, oh, like that's kind of ideal. Like that's, honey hole, whatever. Like you said, for someone to go oppo-ish like that is just like, bro, what?
It's a very dumb question. Are the hardest balls straight up the middle or pulled?
Pulled.
Okay.
And generally pulled on the ground.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah, I knew like on the ground was harder. I just didn't know if maybe I don't know, just the way the bat connects. If maybe straight center is easier to get more velo, but I don't know. That's why I'm a
Generally-
pitcher.
Generally pull side.
Yeah, I mean it makes
Just
sense.
makes it even crazier.
Did we already talk about Altuve too?
No, tell us your Altuve thing.
He hit 3 homers today in the first 3 innings.
Dude.
He had 4 straight at bats with a homer.
Is that good?
I mean,
Hey,
it's insanity.
I don't want to move on from this too quickly because that's pretty impressive. But Tom, your boy Trey Turner, who you wish you would have been in Philly to boo, hit homers in I think 5 or 6 straight games.
Well, he's on paternity leave now, and they did the math, and it's been exactly 9 months since he signed his contract. So congratulations to Trey on becoming a father and celebrating well.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But do you have the numbers on the homers? Because we care more about that.
I'm sorry. What do you want? You want numbers on homers?
Yeah. What do you have? Homers in 5 straight games or 6 straight games?
A lot of games. Like Trey Turner, he's figured it out, and it's awesome.
Yeah, you're
really
loving it, right, Tom?
You're really upset about it.
Cheering works.
And Tom hates that.
That's me. I want every player to be booed mercilessly until they weep at the home plate. That's what I want.
Do you have thoughts?
I'm gonna boo Happ if I go to a game, and then we'll see what happens.
Please cheer for me. Do you have thoughts on Tom? Do you have thoughts on the new Yankees call-ups?
It's nice to see. I think I was the number one concern you have calling up this group of guys now is what kind of clubhouse are they walking into? This is a team that's had a difficult season, had not had the season they've expected, and you worry about what kind of clubhouse they'd be going into. But it seems like
trust your captain.
I was going to say, I think Judge kind of has a grip on that locker room.
And it seems like they've brought good energy from what the other guys in the clubhouse have said. It feels like they maybe have brought a new kind of energy that's helped turn it around. I will not lie. I did look before we started recording today how many games they're out of the wild card right now. It's 7. So even though I dragged them for just a second, I did look. They're 69-69 right now. So probably not going to happen. But it's been fun, man. I mean, Dominguez is, they call him the Martian. I mean, he was compared to Mickey Mantle when he got signed. So I'm excited to see.
Well,
he did the ET phone home thing today.
Yes, and then
when they did roll call,
then they asked him if he'd ever actually seen ET, and he had to say he had not seen the film.
Well, it was
whoever gave him that advice. Great advice.
Wasn't it him that they interviewed and he said his favorite players growing up were Manny Ramirez and Big Papi?
Yeah.
Was that tough for you, Tom?
That's got to sting a little bit.
No way. I mean, those are 2 great players.
Tom, don't say that. Stick to your guns. Come on. Next, you're going to say Pedro's a good pitcher. Come on.
Next year, if he gets off to a cold start, Tom's going to be the first one to say, yeah, well, his favorite players are 2 Red Sox, so I'm going to go boo him at the stadium.
I think if David Ortiz is a Twin anyway. Twins legend in my heart.
David.
It's a great take.
And wild card's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I know wild card is nuts.
You seen that?
I don't want to jinx it. I was going to say you guys are kind of you're playing good ball right now to kind of get into a good spot in that second wild card. Like you're only 2 behind the Phillies for their wild card, and you're only 2.5 out of first in the division.
Well, I mean, it's tight. You got San Fran's 2 back, Arizona's 1 back, Miami's half a game back, then you have Cincy, then us, and then Philly. I mean, it's jam-packed, and we still have 6 or 7 with Arizona.
Cincy walked it off again tonight.
We still have 6 or 7 with Arizona.
Martini? How about Martini with the Reds now, Hap?
You play with Martini, huh?
Yeah.
He hit a pinch hit homer tonight.
Yeah, he did a 3-run homer to tie it in like the 8th. Because he went to Korea from the Cubs, I believe.
So Nick Martini was with the Cubs in 21.
Mm-hmm.
He was in AAA, did well, got called up to the big leagues, was with us for a couple weeks. And he's a great clubhouse guy, good dude, funny.
Hilarious.
Really funny guy. Him and Wisdom are close. And then him and Wiz kind of came up around the same time. Wiz obviously took off and did what he did in 21. And then Martinez with us for a little bit, got sent back down, which was kind of when we went downhill. It was kind of lined up with like the no-hitter in LA. And then he was in San Fran, got sent down. And then that was kind of when we went a little bit downhill. But really good dude. Saw him in spring training this year with Cincy. He was kind of stuck in AAA there. playing well, but wasn't getting a call up. Got called up. Had a great series in Arizona. He hit the game-tying home run against us in the second game of doubleheader, and really, I like his swing a lot, and he's been really producing for them, which is a good.
It's
story.
a pretty lefty swing,
really is. And Cooley's getting an opportunity. He deserves it.
It's always cool to see guys like that like, like low 30s in age, whatever, like have never had a true like home and then like get a chance and they produce. Like that's pretty sick. Like Trace with the Dodgers last year, Trace Thompson, like that was awesome to see.
Yeah.
Guys that kind of bounce around and then they get just in the right spot at the right time and things take off for him. I feel like that was kind of wisdom when he came to the Cubs.
Yeah.
He was kind of stuck with the Cardinals.
Wizzy, Schwindel was that story for a little bit. Like there's those, and Meneses with the Nationals, right? Like there's great stories like that every year, and it's just really cool to see when those guys get an opportunity.
Has Seiya been raking lately? I don't know why I just thought of his homer tonight.
Raking.
I was looking, so like I said, I hadn't been able to watch many games, but I watched that game tonight. Your guys' lineup is so deep. Sorry, I know we're going back to Cubs talk here.
Talked about it a bunch, man.
Seiya in the sixth, like you go, Belly, Dansby, Seiya, Candelario. Like that's 3 to 7. That's guys that are going to do some damage against you. There's no let up.
Dude, and then you have Morel, who's sometimes DHing, sometimes coming off the bench. And
Nico
you
in the
have
2-hole.
And you have Jan, who's had an unbelievable year.
Yeah.
Nicky Madge is hitting in the 9-hole.
320 OBP in the 9-hole.
Yeah, and he's hitting 280 and just is an unbelievable bat-to-ball guy when everybody's on base. And like, dude, the lineup is deep, and it's really, really fun because, and I said this today, not a big deal, I was on the radio, and I said this today, it was like, it's cool because our lineup has these pockets, and it doesn't have to be 1 through 4 every day. Like
such a pockets guy. I love when ball talk has pockets in it.
It doesn't there's days when 1 through 4, like if that's talk, Nico, me, Belly, like there's days when we don't come through, and then you have Dansby, Seiya, Candy, Jan, Madge, Morel, like that, those guys do it. And like that is a really cool like part of our team and our group, is that like it doesn't always have to be the 1 through 4 that does it. Like some days it is us, some days we're rolling and Nico gets on base and I get on base and Belly drives us in, but then other days it's like the bottom half of the order dominates, and like for us as a team to have the ability to do that, it is awesome.
It's so sneaky how good your guys' deadline was too. Like how perfect of pieces Candy and Jose Cuas were. Like those pieces, like they were like not the biggest names, but I feel like they were perfect fits. Like Cuas they were exactly what you needed.
Cuas has been really good for us. Seiya in the last 28 days, was basically a month, 24 games, 198 play appearances, hitting .337 with a 3-8 on base, 685 slug, good for a 1.073, which is a 182 OPS plus. 6 pumps.
That's your 6.
That's not even including today. That's his baseball reference. So that's not including today.
And he was 4 for 5 today.
9 doubles, 2 triples, 6 pumps. He was 4 for 5 today. So that just got even better. So with a double and a pump today. So I mean, dude, he's been unbelievable, and like really cool to see. He's still figuring out the big leagues and like figuring out this league and like what that looks like. And it's been really awesome to see, because he was at a little bit of a low point, like mid-July, end of July. They gave him a few days off, and like because before Candy was here and when Belly was hurt, he was having to hit like 2-hole, 4-hole, kind of like in those spots. And now that he's kind of been bumped back 6-7, he had those couple of days off, he's come back and been an absolute force and like lengthens the shit out of our lineup, and it's been awesome.
There's probably comfortability in that. Like you both probably know, like knowing that you're not like the guy, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like, hey, we're relying on you to produce our offense. Like, it's like, okay, like it's kind of freeing. Like if he doesn't produce, he knows he has you, Belly, Candy, all those other guys that can produce too. So it's not like, hey, Saya, you got to go 4 for 5 every game. Like it's okay if you have a 1 for 4 day because other guys will pick you up.
Yeah. And it's not like you have to be the dude in the 4-hole that 2 or 3 guys in front of you get on to start the game, and we're talking second and third with 2 outs, and like it's like, hey, drive him in.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be that guy. Like you have to do your job, have your at bat. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like that's a very freeing spot to be, and he has taken that like and run with it and been so good. And it's been awesome to watch. His defense is better this year. Like he cares a shit ton and is having fun. And
are you still friends with him even after he ignored your text this offseason?
Right, he did go.
Have you guys mended those fences?
Yeah, we're trying to get past it. He ignored my text a little bit. He was texting Lars Nootbaar. Didn't love that because like we're teammates. Lars played for Team Japan. We know that, but like Lars Bruce Bolka, we love that, but also like
he's a division rival.
I want you to text me. But we're moving past it. We're going to try to get dinner in Japan on my honeymoon. So we'll see.
I haven't seen you say or wear say his best friend, the shirt. What is it?
Well, yeah. Once he told me that he was texting Lars and not me, I said, I can't wear the shirt anymore, but yeah, we'll get there.
He's got to earn that shirt back for you.
Shirt back. Yep. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there at some point. It's all right. Yeah. This episode's turned into a little bit of Cubs talk. Is there anything else that you want to talk about? Anything else? We want to go outside? We want to go outside of the Cubs?
Hey, we're 2 days away, Zach. It's almost time
Dakota.
For the NFL.
It stinks though. The Jets play on Monday and Monday night.
I drafted Josh Allen in my fantasy league, Zach. Can he have a good week, but the Jets win?
I don't give a fuck.
You know what?
So like I was what I said yesterday about the Jets line and them being underdogs. Like I get it. It's not like baseball where obviously any sport really, but like it's gonna take a little while for a team to gel. Like you can just wake up and be like, oh, this team's ready to go from week 1. But my God, if they lose, how annoying everything is gonna be.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, oh, like will this work? Is Aaron Rodgers the guy?
Shut up. But my God, can I not wait to just watch football?
We got the Lions Thursday night.
I know, and I can't watch. We have a night game.
I know, so do we. I literally told my pitching coach today, there's a good chance I'm sick. Like I'm feeling a little raspy. I don't know.
I love
that. I might not be able to make it that day. It's gonna be close. I'll let you know. I know Ian's pumped. Ian, did you actually end up doing fantasy this year?
Big fantasy draft for the boys tomorrow.
Ooh, night
big
before.
Fantasy draft.
Good. That's how it fucking should be.
I'm in there.
Don't draft. You're gonna draft Kelsey?
We'll get the 9th pick. Get the 9th
hyperextended his knee. Yeah. So
you still drafting him?
Do you have a helper? I didn't get the chance to.
I'm just the owner. I have a GM. I have a full-on GM.
You might need some help.
What do you mean help?
Like Scotty helps Judge.
Yeah.
This is my guy. My guy is the guy. I'm not the guy.
The thing is if you called Scotty, he would do the draft for you too. He'd be like, oh yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah.
9th pick. You don't think Kelsey falls to 9?
No. Maybe with his injury now, but probably not. I mean, you're probably looking at like CeeDee Lamb, Stephon Diggs type players. Probably
That's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
Maybe Saquon. Saquon might be there.
Yeah. Bearcats, Cincinnati Bearcats, 66-13 in their first.
They played Western Kentucky.
Eastern Kentucky.
Eastern Kentucky.
And they looked great.
Did you just have to look up their score? Be honest with us.
Absolutely not. I watched the whole game.
I see you looking
in
at your
Cincy,
screen.
and I watched the game on my iPad. And I had a great time.
No way you did. I'd say no way.
100%. I'm a fan.
I need confirmation that you had an iPad.
Through and through. Ask anybody who was in the clubhouse. Walk around with my iPad. The game was on.
There's no way you were.
You don't believe me?
No, I don't believe you were walking around with your iPad watching Cincinnati football.
100%. I was.
Zach?
I plead the fifth here.
Zach,
does it suck not? Last thing about football, Zach, does it suck not having like a college team?
Yes and no, but like you know how I feel about college. Like I'll watch the big games, but like I just can't do it with the 73-0s anymore, dude. It's like it's like I love waking up on Saturday morning. Like I'll watch College Game Day. Like I love it. I think it's great, you know. But yeah, like I don't know. Growing up, like there was a few schools around, obviously, but like not diehard.
I think agree. It's different growing up in like the New York City East Coast area. Just not as major of a sport.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And like, not a knock on you at all, Zach, but like Sacred
shit.
Heart doesn't have like a football team, or do they have a team?
Yeah, they do. D1 AA though. So like,
but that's what I mean. Like,
yeah,
I just root for Michigan State. I went there. Zach or Ian roots for Cincinnati because he went there. Like, it's different when you don't have like a big football program to watch while you're at school.
No, 100%. But like again, like I follow all your guys' teams, obviously, and like, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it's just a little bit too much for me. Like, again,
you know who MSU has this weekend, Zach?
Like the School of the Blind.
Rich, what?
Exactly.
Cincinnati's got Pitt. Big game. Big game. Can I tell you who I root for though? Week in, week out.
ERC.
Omega Accounting Solutions. ERC. ERC. The Employee Retention Credit is a government tax incentive that helps small businesses get back up to $26,000 per employee for overpayment of payroll taxes. That's what I'm talking about. Omega was named the #1 best ERC company for getting your ERC funds. Don't miss out on small business tax credit, even if you got the PPP loan. Okay. There's still time to find out if you qualify and file your claim. Call 800-643-CUBS or visit smallbizcashback.com/Cubs now for a free consultation. ERC. I'm going to have a really good fantasy team and I might make a run. And you guys are going to be like, you don't know football. And I'm going to be like, don't I? I'm going
to be so mad if you have a good fantasy team because of the amount of time I put into it and the amount of time I know you're going to put into it. It's going to really upset me if I have a bad team and you have a good team.
We will talk next week about my team, my squad. And you'll let me know. You
have a team name picked out already?
Well, the guy who's running my team is our head clubhouse guy, Otis, who's been there for 50. He's been in the big leagues for 50 years. 50.
He's seen a lot.
He was in Cincy with the Big Red Machine. And you know who gave him his nickname, Otis? Johnny Bench.
Ever heard of him?
Talking about. That's who this guy is. Otis is my guy. And we're going to run the table. I'm fired up.
I got there being a good chance you don't know half your team.
I might not know the players, but I know the stats. Everybody's numbers to me, man. I'm an owner. Numbers to me. It's all that matters. Should we get the people? Should we get the people the screen times?
Let's get them the screen times. Zach's eyes are closing.
They are. Tired boy.
Zach's seen enough. Zach, what's your
big one? 459.
Ew.
Woke up early, man. Excited to seize the day in New York City.
320 for me. That's a 320.
Ian, don't you have to talk about Sloan's flushometers?
Yes, I do. I do have to talk about that. Sloan is the. I'm pulling it up. I am pulling it up. Sloan's the world's leading manufacturer of commercial plumbing systems. The company is at the forefront of the green building movement, provides smart, sustainable, and hygienic restroom solutions by manufacturing water efficient products such as
flushometers,
faucets, sink systems, soap dispensers, and fixtures for commercial, industrial, and institutional markets worldwide. To learn more, visit sloan.com.
445 for me. I beat Zach.
Tom?
Tough day for you, Zach. Almost 5?
Yeah, I woke up early and then just kind of stayed on my phone.
Yeah, sure, man. Tom?
614.
614.
That's not bad, Tom. We got Tom on a slanted scale, that's okay. That's a good day.
2 weeks in a row for me. I feel really good about it. Tom, you are 0 for the last 67 weeks in
for Zach. by 10 minutes was as close as I was ever going to get. I thought I
winning screen time, but good effort. Good effort. I Tom, one of these weeks, Tom is just going to go, fuck it. I'm doing all of my everything off a computer for the day. And he's going to come in with like a 34 minutes.
That's what Dakota used to do. He used to do that and then play video games.
I did that early on. I know video games isn't the same thing as screen time.
No, for sure. It's definitely not the same thing as screen time.
But there were days that I would literally just not look at my phone when I knew we were recording. Like I'd keep it like under 2 hours.
Oh man, I had no idea.
Dakota's
of course, obviously it wasn't on accident.
I remember the early episodes, and Zach would just heckle you and ask you to get your iPad screen time out.
Yeah.
He acted like he never looked at his.
I didn't.
Yeah, right. Like you were watching hidden videos all day.
Yeah, it was back in the day when you were in Ivy for hours watching swings.
Down a rabbit hole.
Maybe I should go back to it.
No, I think you're doing fine. You hit a homer last week.
I did. That was cool.
Hey, you know what happened? This is the last thing. You know what happened? On our video, the guy that started against us is that crazy crossfire guy from the Giants, the Gigantes. You know what I'm talking about? Righty steps in the other dugout and then throws from behind himself.
Yeah. What's his name? Johnson?
No.
Walker.
Yeah. You hit a fucking nuke off slider. I loved it. I loved it. It came up and it was like, shorty?
Yep.
Fuck yeah.
And
Did you say in the meeting like we should have kept that guy?
So that's my guy.
Pinch hit. Actually, it doesn't count as pinch hit. I went in the field the inning before.
Still counts.
Still counts.
Get credit for that pinch hit numbers. That's episode 173 of the Compound. 174. My bad.
Nice catch.
The Compound
Good
Podcast.
save.
Presented by Parse Rum. My favorite rum, your favorite rum, Parse Rum. When I say Parse, you say
Rum.
Rum.
See you next week.